I'm Aspen of Aspen Cierra Photography, and I'm here to answer some of your most burning questions about photography, from what camera you need, what lenses, to what the heck even is golden hour. So I surveyed a couple of you, and these were some of your most burning questions, so let's get started. All right. Your first question was, is a professional photo shoot a good idea at the beginning stages of your business? And honestly, I would say yes. It's pretty much up there with having your logo, your website, your business card. It's all encompassed together to make a personal brand. Like, people need to be able to see who you are. Unless you're Apple or Target or a big corporation, people don't want to hide behind a logo. They also want to see who you are, what you do. So I would combine a really nice headshot, just shoulders up or even like waist up, and then some lifestyle photos of you doing whatever it is that you do. So if you're a fashion designer, I want to see you sewing. I want to see you going through racks of clothing. I want to see you picking out the fabrics from the fabric store. Like, this is what customers want to see, honestly. The next question was, what are some good lenses to have? So I would honestly recommend a good 50mm lens. Like, it's a pretty standard lens that everyone kind of uses. It's really good for portraits or just honestly anything. Like, I've had a 50mm lens as my first lens for at least the first 2, maybe 3 years of photography, and that was the only lens I had, and it was a pretty good multi-purpose lens. And then when I wanted to do some things that were more close up, I added in a zoom lens. So a good zoom lens, I would probably say, is a 70 to 200mm. That's a pretty good lens. So let's say if you want to get some more close-up shots, that would be a really good lens to have. Or whether you're shooting a little bit more far away and you want to get that nice portrait that you can get with a 50mm lens, but if you have a 70 to 200, you can be a little bit farther away. So I would definitely recommend those two lenses, at least a 50 and then a good zoom lens. Or a lot of cameras come with a kit lens, so they would be like an 18 to 55. My first camera was a Nikon D3000, and it came with the 18 to 55. And that was a pretty good standard lens because I could shoot wide because of the 18mm, and I could shoot pretty much portrait style, I guess, with the 50mm. So that would be a good lens to get as well. But I mean, if you're getting a kit, like a camera kit, that would probably already come with it. But those would be the two I'd recommend. Your third question was, if taking photos outdoors, what is golden hour? And golden hour is the hour after sunrise and the hour before sunset. And photographers usually like this time of day just because it's when the light is the softest and the warmest. So you're not going to get harsh shadows from the middle of the day, which, by the way, is the worst time to shoot unless you just know what you're doing and have a reflector and know how to bounce out those shadows. But I digress. Golden hour is the best time just because the light is super soft and you can just get a really nice warm light on your skin. Like, it just makes everything look magical. Like, you can't go wrong with golden hour. Your fourth question was, where do I find good locations to shoot? And honestly, that is just an ongoing battle for anyone trying to find somewhere to shoot. Like, a lot of professional photographers or big photo shoots for companies, they use a location scout. And of course, that's gonna cost money. So if you're a small business owner like me, you have to find your locations yourself. So I'm always looking around whenever I'm traveling or I go somewhere new. I'm always like taking pictures or writing down like locations. So a lot of locations I like to use are shopping centers, but with those you kind of have to watch out for security and whether it's private property and whether you can shoot there. So a lot of times if you want to do that, I would go during non-peak times. So definitely during like a golden hour or just before even the stores open, so you can get like a nice brick wall, or if you want to look like you're gallivanting on a mall stroll, like those would be good times to do it before there's even people in the area. But other places that I shoot are usually like in kind of natural scenes like gardens and parks. But at the end of the day, it all depends on your concept. So that's something you should keep in mind when you're looking for a location. Don't just think, oh, I need a location somewhere to shoot. You need to think of, what is the vibe or the concept I'm going with the photo. For like a simple headshot, okay, maybe you can just be like, I need, a clean wall or maybe something with texture like a brick. But if you're doing something a little bit more conceptual, you need to think of the vibe you're going for. So if you want something street style, you would go to your nearest inner city and shoot walking downtown or something of that nature. So thinking about locations is all about your concept. So once you come up with your concept, it might be a little bit easier to come up with where your location is. But if you can't always get out to find the location, Google Earth is your best friend. You can kind of type in cities, or like if you know a store but you don't have time to go out and look at the surrounding area, you can type it in Google Earth and kind of see like the area around it, see if that's where you want to shoot. But those are a few tips I recommend for finding locations. And lastly, your last question was, what camera should I get? And I'm definitely going to cover those in a few upcoming videos this month. But just to kind of touch on it a little bit, I would definitely recommend getting an entry-level DSLR. That's what I started with, and I have never looked back. Or nowadays we have these mirrorless cameras, which are kind of half the weight of a DSLR. It's like a little bit more lightweight, but you can still get good quality photos with them, just like a DSLR. A lot of pro photographers are even using mirrorless cameras as kind of like a second camera or something they can use when they're traveling, because a lot of us don't want to bring a big, heavy, full-frame DSLR camera whenever we're on vacation or just want to take a quick headshot. So I would definitely recommend either entry-level DSLR, like I use Nikon, so I would recommend the Nikon D, I think it's 3400 they're up to now as their entry level, and whatever kit lens it comes with if you get a kit. So a lot of kits come with the 18-55, or they'll come with two lenses, so like that lens and a zoom lens, like the 70-200. Or you can just start out with a 50mm. That's what I started out with, and you really can't go wrong with the 50. But in my upcoming video series on how to pick your camera, I'll be talking about how to pick a DSLR, a mirrorless camera, or even a point and shoot, or even a phone. Whether your plan might be coming up and you're like, well, I want to get a phone that I can take good photos on. We can talk about whether you should get that Samsung phone, hopefully they're not exploding everywhere, or one of the new iPhone 7s that everyone's raving about, and the 7 Plus, about how good their like camera is and the raw capabilities and all of that. So look forward to that on my channel. I would definitely love it if you guys would follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/Aspen Cierra Photo, twitter.com/Aspen C Photo, and Instagram at Aspen Cierra Photo. And click that subscribe button down below and show me some love, and hopefully send me some comments or emails and let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see.